applause for all of the demonstrators, but also to Sam and Charles. Thank you.
Edward William Bartitsu, engineer by profession, visionary by nature, impresario by inclination. Barton Wright travelled the globe, bringing the benefits of great British engineering to the Empire and her allies, and all the while he took great care to carefully research the local martial arts of every country he visited. Upon his return to London, he found the city gripped by fear. Footpads lurked on every corner, danger in every alley. The citizens dared not set foot in the streets. Barton Wright realised that his time had come. He summoned, from all over the world, masters of self-defence. From Japan, Yukio Tano, Jigoro Kano, masters of the deadly art of judo. From Europe, Cherpillon, the wrestler, and Professor Pierre Bigny, master of savate and French cane fencing. Now luckily, the arts of boxing and judo are well preserved in many sources, but all that remains of Bigny's cane system is a few scattered press cuttings from Pearson's magazine and an essay by one of Barton Wright's students. It is Bigny's art of cane fencing that we will demonstrate for you today. So I will pass over for a technical explanation to my colleague, Charles.
So, cane fighting exists across the whole of Europe. It's well established in many different forms in Britain, in Portugal, in France, in Italy, and all of these forms find in some way their relationship from the sword. Vigny's great breakthrough was to realise that a cane is not a sword. It doesn't have an edge, it doesn't have any effective guard for the hand, and so he developed an art where the cane was held high and back to protect the hand, and blows were delivered with a swinging action from the hips to make use of the weight of the head of the cane to deliver a blow. There are a variety of blows, which you'll see demonstrated in a loop drill. So we start with a classic overhand, which is delivered in a way which is unique to the Vigny style, where it hooks over the top in order to hit an opponent's guard, which would typically be too low because of their training in the sword arts. Guards are generally made with a stick to blows that are high, and by withdrawing the limbs when blows are low so that the blows don't strike. Canes are not terribly effective weapons, so unlike a sword where a single cut might end a fight, in cane fighting you have to continue until your opponent is indisposed, or you place him in a position where you're able to easily belabour him with the cane. One of the other distinctive features of the Vigny system was that it was ambidextrous. The cane was used in both hands with equal ease, and fighters would change from one side to the other with hardly a break between, using two-handed and single-handed grips as they went. So what we're going to do now is run through some of the existing techniques that we know Vigny taught and that Barton Wright taught at the Bartitsu Club, and show you those in action. One of the first ones we're going to choose and show you is what's referred to as a guard by distance. This is trapping your opponent into making an attack and then attacking a weak spot that's exposed. So, what you would do is begin by baiting your opponent with something that he would like to hit, usually an arm or a head. As he makes the strike, you escape and strike over the top, bringing your cane down smartly on the top of his crown and rendering him indisposed. So we bait, we withdraw, and we strike. One of the things that we always do is you'll see these things practiced slowly, but we Bartitsu, Vigny cane is a full contact sport, and so you'll also see it delivered at speed. So, having caught your assailant in a withdrawal by distance, one of the other things that you might want to do is to bait him in other ways and evade the strike. So one other way is to launch your attack first. Now what you may have noticed, certainly if you've ever carried a cane, is that they vary tremendously in how tough they are. So the Vigny cane system used Malacca canes, which could take a beating. But gentlemen would often carry canes made of other substances which couldn't take a beating, were unreliable and could break easily. So if you felt you had an unreliable cane, or an umbrella, which was not likely to stand up, then what you would do is, seeing your assailant, you would immediately strike first. As they go to block the strike to the head, you would leap in, take the elbow, and if you're a lady, stab them through the eye with your hat pin. If you weren't a lady, there were other options. So, bait the strike, bait the block, take the arm, stab them in the finger with your eyes, but that does tend to mess up your manicure. So, hat pins are better. If your cane was more sturdy and you felt it could stand up to a fight, then what you could do is bait the high block, take the elbow, push him back, and as he goes back, you retreat and strike him in the knee. And I can tell you from personal experience that being hit in the knee with a cane is not something you wish to happen twice. I couldn't get to my hat pin. So of course one option was to strike him with your fist, which any good English boxer would be able to do. We think that a lot of the advice given about hitting people is really to do with hitting them with the rear end of the cane, but that English sensibilities were such that that was not something people wished to do. So, you might find yourself facing a boxer. Boxers were much feared for their ability to take a beating and for their ability to dish one out. And so, learning how to defend against one was considered important. So, the classic boxer would open up with a left lead. You would evade it, turn, strike him across the knee, but that might not finish a boxer. So you may need to come up under the ribs with the other end of your cane to finish him off. And hopefully that would be enough to stop it, although a tough English boxer might continue with a little bit of fight, and you may have to be labouring with your cane a little more.
Cool.
So, canes come in a variety of shapes and sizes, and not all of them had a ball on the end. Vigny himself designed a cane specifically to have a ball on the end, which he assured us was dense enough so it would not dent. Dent against hitting what? We're not absolutely sure, but he didn't want it to dent. However, lots of people would carry hooked canes. And a hooked cane has some advantages and some disadvantages in a fight. Against another man with a cane, it can be quite useful. So we're going to show you 3 different ways in which the hooked cane could be used in order to bring your assailant to the ground and finish them off.
Due to the nature of some of these techniques, we're not going to ask our friends in costume to do this. It does require robust footwear and preferably some neck protection.
So, we may find ourselves taking on a grappler. And the hooking ability of the cane is useful. Against the boxer, could also be useful.
Right.
Hook him off his feet. And similarly, against the man with a cane,
Oh! Umi Ghoulies!
See that one again, please?
So, Barton Wright taught a variety of people, and many of the people who followed on from him taught specifically female-orientated versions of the art. The suffragettes had a whole unit who were trained in jiu-jitsu and various ways of using womanly clothing in order to inflict punishment upon your assailant. And there are, in fact, a number of short films and photo pieces of suffragitsu, I kid you not, taking out policemen and abusive and drunken husbands. Of course, as we alluded to, Barton Wright didn't just bring back Vigny cane fighting, he brought a number of other systems back, and he wasn't averse to using any piece of clothing that you had as a weapon. He spent quite a lot of time in Portugal, and he describes being attacked on many occasions by Portuguese thugs armed with knives, We're not quite sure how he came to be attacked so many times, considering he was a railway engineer, but nevertheless he was attacked. And one defence he describes is to use your overcoat as your assailant comes menacingly towards you. You cast it over his head and then beat him into submission whilst he can't see what's going on. It's harder than it looks, which is why we only have one person who demonstrates it, because most of us miss every single time with the coat. Although it is a useful distraction. So, the cane can be used and mixed with jiu-jitsu to aid and add in to the quality of what you are doing, to make your locks more effective. And one of the classic ones is a standing arm lock. So as your opponent comes, you lock it in, take the grip and use your cane to drive him to the floor. From where you can disarm him as you wish, or hold him there until a constable arrives. So, we train in all these things, but of course, there are two ways you can approach training. You can train in the art, you can practice the techniques, you can do it at a stately pace, or you can be a bit more aggressive and try and knock each other out with sticks. Sam and I are now going to go at each other with sticks for a short period of time, because neither of us are as fit as we used to be. The way this will work is this is a friendly match, so we will spar with one another in a nice, friendly manner. One of our colleagues will stand by just in case things get out of hand. And we'll go at it for a little bit, see if we can demonstrate to you the art in a more rounded form than you've just seen.
Best of three. Okay.
That's 50 press-ups each. How to press the time. We won't be doing that. Ready? Come on. Right, clear. That's
Now where you got another bit?
the thigh, dear, the thigh. Oh, always stings more than the thigh.
Right, okay.
I missed.
He's right. It does sting.
He's had his children.
Sorry, it's my fault. I couldn't control myself.
Another double. It's nice to win a badge during a... we hand out little purple badges. Wear them anywhere.
Right, does anyone have any questions? Where do you train? We train in Battersea Park. Have done for many years, every Sunday morning. No, we train by the all-weather cricket pitch, because nobody ever plays cricket. So we train in Battersea Park. So we're there from about 10 o'clock in the morning on Sundays. But there are about 6 or 7 of us who attend regularly. It's very niche. Any other questions?
Is he a member? Run a whole take
No, I'm a victim of another sort of weapon.
How many sticks have you been through?
I'm on my third.
Third.
I've been through about 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
They don't break that often.
Right.
The rattan ones are fairly sturdy because they flex.
Hickory sticks tend to snap much quicker.
Okay.
So that's why those kinds of walking sticks or the hats are not very good for this because they break.
Well, it's a pool cue as well, so I wouldn't want to hit anyone with it.
Multifunction. Well, thank you all very, very much for your patience. And we will hopefully see you next year.
So ladies and gentlemen...
Cheers. Can I get a photo of your weapon?